Welcome everyone to the first installment in the Trader's Mindset video series. In this video, we are going to discuss discipline. And you guys know how I feel about this. For me, discipline is key. Discipline isn't just about sticking to a plan. It's about making consistent, calculated decisions through your emotions, through distractions. Discipline is the difference between consistent profitability and being profitable in your career as a trader and a consistent struggle. Have to be disciplined in these markets. Discipline means following your strategy without deviation. No matter what the market throws at you, no matter what kind of day you're having, no matter how upset you are, what side of the bed you woke up on, you throw all that stuff out the window. The temptation to chase losses, guys, or to jump into trades based on impulse, it's always going to be there. With discipline, you can make sure you don't make these mistakes. You have to be disciplined. You have to stick to your plan. And look at it like this, right? People talk all the time about psychology. I'm not going to have the argument with psychology over discipline. But here's a clear and valid point that I try to state every time I talk about discipline. Discipline makes you take your trades based on logic, not emotion. And everybody can say, okay, well, psychology is the same thing. Psychology makes you take your trade on logic. In my opinion, psychology is what you blame in order to say, I messed up. I got emotional. And the reason that I did it is because my psychology is bad. That means, okay, you have to somehow fix a psychological problem that you have. This is now a excuse as to why you took an emotional trade rather than it being based on logic, I guess. Discipline completely takes that out of the equation. If you're disciplined, it's only logic. Every trade is based on nothing but logic, no emotions. What does logic mean exactly? Why do I say a disciplined trader uses logic? Because a disciplined trader doesn't react to every price movement. They follow a strategy. They test a strategy, they trust the strategy, and they stick to the strategy. It doesn't get any different than that. And you can say psychology. You can use the words, I guess, against one another if you want. Completely up to you guys. At the end of the day, I feel like it's discipline. And the reason that I always use the word discipline is because psychology, you like to blame that you have a psychological issue, your past causes you this, your past causes you that, you've got some kind of ailment of some kind. That's what causes you to take bad trades or lose your temper or revenge trade, fill in the blank. At the end of the day, if you have discipline, then your trade is based on logic and not emotion. And when you don't do something correctly, you base your trade on emotion rather than logic. Now you look yourself in the mirror and you say, I had a lack of discipline. That's on me. I can't blame it on past trauma. I can't blame it on any of these things. I was undisciplined. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I hope you can wrap your head around how I differentiate them. Maybe everybody else won't look at it the same, but I feel like psychology is an excuse. I feel like discipline means it's on you. When you grew up as a kid, you did something that wasn't right. You got discipline. Now you've learned from that mistake. They didn't say, well, it's a psychology problem, so you do need to work on that. But no, they went and got a belt. You learned real quick. You won't do this anymore. The same thing happens as we're adults, guys. You have to be disciplined in life, in everything. I mean, if you work a job, obviously you have to have discipline. And if you don't agree with my use of discipline compared to psychology, let me know. At the end of the day, I feel like it is a discipline issue. I feel like people revenge trade because they have lack of discipline. You You can't be emotional. When you say discipline, there's no room for emotion anymore. It's just logic. How do we build discipline? That's the big question, right? Everybody wants to build discipline and figure out how we're going to better our discipline. So what do? Building discipline starts with a routine. How else do you get discipline? You got to have a set of rules. You have to follow a consistent process. Depending on how you trade, and again, this is all up to you guys and how you trade. It's not based on me and what I do in the market. It's based on what you do in the market. Let's say that your process is you review the market, you set up your charts, you write in a journal. You know, these are all things that you can do to keep disciplined. You have to make sure that you make a routine out of this, that you do this every single day. Because routine, at the end of the day, keeps you focused. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you from making impulsive decisions. And that's really what discipline is. It is a process that you stick to always in order to keep yourself from making impulsive or emotional decisions. That's discipline. Part of the routine should involve sticking to a risk management plan. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're always sticking to a risk management plan. And for every trader, it's going to be a little different. For me, I like to keep a set loss limit. Anybody that showed up to the live streams knows exactly how I do it. I have gold. It's a 30-tick stop loss. I use 2 mini contracts. So if it's over a 30-tick stop loss, I don't take the trade. So that's my risk management. How you determine your risk management is definitely personal to you and how you choose to do it. However, you have to have a plan. You have to keep something that is routine. You have to do the same thing consistently over and over and over again. So no matter how a certain trade feels or what you think, you know, that's I hear this all the time. Well, it really felt like this was definitely the top. You never risk more than you're comfortable losing. So have that number set. If you say, okay, it's 30 ticks, then that is it. You don't risk more because this is the best trade you ever saw. This is the best setup that there is. It doesn't matter. That's not being disciplined. We're talking about discipline here. Discipline is having a set loss number. Discipline's having a set routine always. Discipline means saying no when the trade doesn't align with your plan. And that's the biggest thing. What is your trade plan? You need a clear set of rules, and that's where discipline comes in, because now you are always following that clear set of rules time and time and time again. And when you do this as a routine and you're consistently doing the same thing, discipline gets easy. You might think at the beginning, oh, well, discipline's tough. I can't just stick to this. I can't just do that. Continue to do it. The human brain is a funny thing. Once you get into a routine and you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, discipline's super easy. It's a routine at this point. It's a habit. Go Google what it takes to create a habit and you'll see what I'm talking about. And this is the same thing in everything, guys, whether you're playing poker, whether you're shooting billiards. If you watch a pro pool player, billiards player, go to the table, you'll notice. You guys may not have noticed this before, especially if you don't follow the sport. You will notice they have what they call a pre-shot routine. This is always exactly the same. These people will walk up to the table. They will do the exact same thing repetitively every single time they take a shot. And this is a routine that they built. It's a habit now. That's how they stay consistent. You have to do the same thing in trading. If you want to stay consistent, you have to have a routine, which then turns to a habit. And you have to have this habit over and over and over again, and that causes you to be consistent. Consistency is number one. Am I saying that you'll take no losses? Absolutely not, guys. Losing trades are inevitable. You're always going to take losses. What separates disciplined traders from the rest is how they handle the losses. And that's the whole thing. How do you handle the losses? A disciplined trader accepts the loss as part of the game. They don't just say, okay, well, I took a loss, so now I'm going to go out and revenge trade it back. No. You know that your plan is designed for long-term success. And again, we're right back to that consistency. You can't think about this trade. You have to think about your long-term success. Disciplined traders don't chase the market, trying to recover all the losses that they just made on the last trade immediately. They don't do that. Instead, they move on, ready themselves for the next opportunity. Chasing losses is never going to work. This is why discipline is so important. It's tempting to deviate from your plan after a few losses, but that's where discipline shines. The key is staying on course and trusting your process, that routine, habit. Do it over and over and over again, consistently. That's what is going to make you successful at the end of the day. And discipline isn't just about day-to-day trades. It's about keeping your eyes on the bigger picture. Every trade, win or lose, is a small part of the overall journey. And how many times have I said that? It's not a sprint, guys. It's a marathon. You're hoping to be here, still trading next year, the year after, 10 years, 15 years. Successful traders know that staying consistent will yield results over time. That's what people don't get. It's all about consistency. And how do you stay consistent? By being disciplined. That's why we're covering discipline in this video. Staying disciplined, you're ensuring that you avoid emotional highs and lows. That's what happens when you only focus on short-term results. The key is thinking in months and years, not hours or days. Not just this trade. And I say this all the time. Not just this trade. This trade means nothing. In the grand scheme of things, this one trade doesn't matter. And I heard this good quote. Maybe this will resonate with some of you, but it said, only disciplined ones are purely free in life. Indisciplined are slaves to their moods and passions. And let that sink in for a minute. Hopefully that resonates with some of you. This is the same thought of where emotions come in. When you're disciplined and stick to your plan, have that routine, emotion gets thrown out the window. There's no room for it anymore. It just kind of vanishes away. There's nothing to let emotion take over because you're doing the same thing over and over and over. There's no room for emotion then. Discipline is the cornerstone of trading success. It keeps you grounded, consistent, and focused on the long-term goal. Without discipline, guys, even the best strategies can fail. And don't get me wrong, guys. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about progress and sticking to your plan no matter what. Hope that resonates with some of you guys out there. For me, discipline goes hand in hand with consistency. In order to keep yourself consistent, you have to be disciplined to your rules. Anybody has any questions about discipline? How to better their discipline? Maybe I didn't cover everything that you'd like to cover in this video. This is the first video, guys. Let me know. In the next episode of the Trader's Mindset series, we're going to explore patience. It's another vital trait for long-term success. All you guys that aren't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell to stay updated with the notifications. Have a great day, guys. And as always, stay consistent out there.